Hello everyone, this is Geeta and welcome to this week's video on the Momentum Lab channel. This week again, I bring to you the factor report for the month of November 2024. So if you've been with us for the last 2-3 months, you'll know that we have been doing a detailed analysis of how different factors have been performing across both BSE and NSE, and we're also looking at how these factors are performing in the short term, that is for 12 months period in the last 1 year, and we're also looking at how these different factors are performing in the last around 20 years, that is from 2005 onwards. So what we essentially do in this video is that we sort of see how these factors perform, and we see which factor has performed the best in the last month that was gone by, which is November for the sake of this video. And we also see which of the factors that are consistently performing well in the last few months or in the last few years. So after looking at which are the top performing factors, we're also looking at which are the mutual funds and ETFs that are being offered by different fund houses in these particular top performing factor indices. So if you've been following closely, you will see that there is an increase in the number of index funds and ETFs that are being offered specifically with respect to strategies as well. So you'll see that there are a lot of factor-based mutual funds and ETFs that are being offered as well. So let us sort of dissect all of that and see how they're performing, and also sort of put everything together. That is, we'll see what are the top factors, and we'll also put together a list of what are the mutual funds and ETFs that are being offered in these top factor-based indices. So without further ado, let's factor this. So for the people who've been following these videos closely and who are comfortable with the methodology that we are being using to arrive at these top factors and mutual funds and ETF list, you can directly go to the end where you can watch what are the list of top mutual funds and ETFs and the top factors for this month of November 2024. But for people who are new and who'd like to understand a little more in detail about the methodology that we use to sort of bring about these top factors list, and also then to see what are the mutual funds and ETFs, then stay along and let me take you through the methodology that we follow. So the first and foremost part of making this list is to sort of list all of the indices at one place. So what we do is we list all of the indices from BSE and NSE at one place, and then take the closing values. So record the closing values of these indices on the last trading day of every month. So since we will be considering a 12-month window, and for this, for the month of November 2024, the data that will be considered is from November 2023 to November 2024. As per BSE, we have 4 indices, factor-based indices, very simple, straightforward. We have a momentum index, we have an enhanced value, or commonly called as the value index. We also have equality, and then we have the fourth one, which is the low volatility. So BSE is pretty straightforward. It has 4 indices. And when it comes to NSE, we have 22 different indices. So NSE is offering a large list of strategy indices wherein, there are multi-factors indices. There are also indices which have different universes. So even if we speak about value 20, the universe could be 200, Nifty 200 value 20, or Nifty 100 value 20, etc. So these are just examples. The actual lists and actual names we can see as we go through the video. So what NSE essentially does is that it has a lot of different varied universes that it is offering, and it's also offering multi-factor indices, therefore making the entire number to somewhere around 22. Also, up until the month of September, we had only 20 indices in the NSE, and we recently had an addition of 2 more indices, making the total to 22. So for BSE, it's fairly simple, and for NSE, it is a little more complicated. But again, nothing to worry. We have done the work for you. We have all the numbers here for you. Now, after listing these closing values, what we do is that we calculate a month-on-month percentage return. So the performance is essentially calculated to see which factor has performed how. So what was the overall percentage return for a factor month-on-month basis? Now, post calculating the performance, what we do is then we rank the performance. So a factor that has the highest amount of month-on-month percentage return will be ranked 1. The next best performing factor will be ranked 2, so on and so forth. So for BSE, we will be having 4 ranks, and for NSE, we will be having 22. After doing that, what we will be doing is we'll also make a benchmark comparison. So the entire idea of understanding how the factors have performed will be nullified if you don't understand how they're performing in comparison to the broader market, right? So we need a particular benchmark to see if the factors are performing better than the benchmark, after which we can go and understand how the factors are performing amongst themselves. So for the same exercise, what we have done is for BSE, we have taken a separate benchmark, and for an NSE, we have taken a separate benchmark. For BSE, again, straightforward, it is the BSE Sensex that which we have used as a benchmark. And then for NSE, we have also tried to keep it simple because there are multi-universes. So each strategy factor index is based on a different universe. So simply put, it is extremely difficult to sort of have different benchmarks for different universe-based indices. So what we have done is we have simplified the entire thing and we have taken Nifty 50 as the benchmark for all NSE-based indices. So after ranking, what we have done essentially is that we have also taken these two benchmarks and seen how each of the factor index is performing with respect to these benchmarks. After doing this, we have also calculated the NAVs just to create a similar unit value which is comparable across, right? So across different indices, all of these NAV calculations have been made so that we can compare one to the other and say this is done slightly better than this or this is not done better than this. So this is largely what the methodology that we have used to understand how different factors have performed. This is for the short term. Again, when I take you through the long-term values, I will tell you what is the methodology that we've used for calculating the long-term values as well. So let me show you with the help of a spreadsheet that we have created how these values look like after jotting it down. So here we have the BSE values. Like I said, we have taken the BSE Sensex as the benchmark. Then we have four different factor-based indices that are there. So what we've done is we have jotted down the data from June of 2023 to currently November 2024. So we've been tracking the factors for a longer time now. For the sake of this video, I'll be discussing only the last 12 months. But if you do want to go and check out how they have done in the last 1 year from June 2023 to June 2024, please feel free to use the sheet and do so. Now, after noting down the closing values of the last traded day of the month, what we'll be doing is we have calculated the performance, right? So the performance has been calculated as a percentage of month-on-month return. And last month, if you see in October, it was pretty bad with, all of the factors, including the Sensex itself, giving negative returns. The scenario seems to be a little bit different this month. There are some positives, and of course, some of the factors are still in the negative. But overall, we are seeing that some of the factors have given positive returns as well. After this, again, like I said, we have ranked the factors. So what we will be doing is whichever factor has the highest percentage return. So for example, over here, we have the BSE Momentum Index with the highest percentage monthly return. That will be ranked 1. Which is followed by the enhanced value, and that will be rank 2. And then that is followed by BSE Sensex, therefore that is rank 3. So on and so forth, all of the indices are ranked from 1 to 5 over here and 1 to 23 in the NSE space. We have also calculated another metric over here to see how many times, how many percentage of times has one factor either ranked 1 or 2. So how many times has a factor held the top 2 ranks in the last 12 months, and that percentage is provided over here. So you can see that momentum has performed maximum number of times it has held either rank 1 or 2 with 62%. You'll also see that it's followed by an enhanced value index, which has held the top rank 1 or 2 46% number of times. So the least is BSE low volatility index, where only 23% of the times it has held either rank 1 or 2. Now, after calculating the factor ranks, what we have to go and look is the outperformance. So this table essentially says that this particular factor, if it's in green and 1, what it says is that this particular factor has outperformed its benchmarks, that is the benchmark, that is the BSE Sensex. So a green and 1 will indicate that that particular factor has outperformed its benchmark in that particular month. And a red will say that that particular factor index has underperformed its particular benchmark for that month. You'll see that there are a couple of months wherein none of the factors outperformed the Sensex. October was one such month. In fact, the Sensex has performed better than all of the factor indices in the month of October. There were also such months in June and I think June and October were such months. But there are also been months wherein all of the factors outperformed the benchmark. So Jan was such, Feb was such. Again, in April, we see a month like that. And July 2024 also was a month like that. So essentially, another metric that is calculated over here is how many number of times did this particular factor outperform its benchmark. So you see that all of the factors have in some way outperformed the benchmark in some period or the other. So if I look at the factor ranking here as well, you will see that there is a clear factor rotation, right? So in 1 month, there are a couple of factors that performed really well. In the next, that ranking changes. So there is a constant rotation in which factors perform better, which we commonly call as factor rotation. Simple, straightforward to understand. You can also see over here that, most factors have outperformed the benchmark most times. That is, enhanced value has outperformed the benchmark 62% of the times, then momentum 77% of the time. low volatility 46% of the time, and quality index 54% of the time. So I think there is a clear something that is coming out even in this month. Even in the last month, it has been momentum and enhanced value itself. Even in the month of November, for the BSE indices as such, it is momentum and enhanced value. Now, coming to the NAVs, we have calculated the NAVs from starting June 2023, and you will see that this is how the NAVs are placed. And if you compare the NAVs, however, you'll see that enhanced value has the highest, followed by momentum, followed by quality, and then low volatility. Let us also see how all of these four have compared with respect to the BSE Sensex. So clearly, all the factors, even in this month, have performed better than the benchmark or the BSE Sensex. But the enhanced value index and momentum have outperformed it really very much. So the top two performing factor indices for BSE is BSE enhanced value and then BSE momentum index. Now coming to the NSE in the short term, like I said, again, the exercise for NSE is a little tedious because there are about 22 indices along with the 23rd, which is the benchmark Nifty 50 that we have to consider. However, not to worry, all of the data points are here for you. We have done the work, we have pulled the data and put it here. And when we look at the returns, monthly returns, again, the month of October was entirely negative for all of the factors. That seems to be changing for the NSE indices despite the multi-factor and multi-universe indices as well. So some of the indices are showing positive returns, but some of them are still negative as well. Now coming to the ranking part of it, again in NSE as well, very similar to BSE, we'll always be seeing sector factor rotation like this, wherein some factors perform better in some kinds of markets and others perform better in other kinds of markets. Now when we look at the number of times a particular factor index in the NSE has held either rank 1 or 2, then we have the top two are Nifty small cap 250 momentum quality 100 and Nifty small cap 250 quality 50. So essentially there is a theme running here. There is quality and the universe is small cap 250, and which is followed by alpha 50. We again have value, alpha, and momentum quality. So we are seeing a particular trend here. We have momentum quality, then we have quality, and then we have alpha and value. So these are how they are performing. Now coming to the NAV values, since there are 28 of them, all of the values you can see over here, but just to make it easy for the sake of this video and this exercise, what I've done is I have taken the top 6 performing factor indices along with its benchmark, and I have put the NAV values over here. Again, what happens is for the year-to-date performance of all these factor indices, they have all outperformed its benchmark, that is the Nifty 50. And you'll see that this is being topped by value. Value factor is coming twice over here. So I'll take value factor as value 1. And then Nifty alpha 50, alpha factor is in the second one, followed by momentum, which is holding the third rank. Again, the 6th is also held by alpha. So essentially we have value, alpha, and momentum holding the top 3 ranks. This has been depicted on a graph over here. You can take a look at it. Nifty 500 value 50 is the first, followed by Nifty 200 value 30, then Nifty alpha 50, then we have Nifty mid cap 150 momentum 50, then we have Nifty 500 momentum 50, and the last one is Nifty 250 alpha 30. So this is how both NSE and BSE are performing. And like we usually do, what we do is we take a list of the top 5 performing factors across both BSE and NSE. So what we will be doing is we will be taking 2 from the BSE. So in this case, it's going to be enhanced value and the momentum index. And we will be taking 3 from the NSE indices, which is value factor, alpha factor, and momentum factor. So I've listed that down for you in a particular sheet. So we have 2 factors from BSE and 3 factors from NSE. And these are the different funds that are available over here. So we've decided to put both the list of mutual funds and ETFs, considering that we have varied audience who like to prefer different kinds of investing. So here is a list of both for you. Now, for BSE enhanced value, we have Motilal Oswal, again, for both mutual fund and ETFs. BSE momentum is yet to see either a mutual fund or an ETF. Coming to Nifty value, we have 500 value 50. We have 3 mutual funds. 2 of them are new. Anywhere where you see this gray, it depicts that particular mutual fund has not completed 1 year. So therefore, the tracking difference, which is for 1 year, is not listed here. And for Nifty 200 value 30, we have one ICICI Prudential. It's offering both the mutual fund and ETF. For Alpha 50, again, we have one mutual fund from Bandhan and one ETF from Kotak Mahindra. Nifty Midcap 150, Momentum 50, we have had 2 only for the longest time, and recently Kotak Mutual Fund has also made its entry, and none for the ETF categories. And Nifty 500 Momentum 50, we have Motilal Oswal, we have Nippon Mutual Fund and Bandhan Mutual Fund. And for the ETF segment, we have Motilal Oswal ETF. Now, let me show you where I've collected the data of all the mutual funds and ETFs. So in case if I miss something, you can let us know in the comments. Or if you want to go and dig deeper into the other factor indices and see what are the mutual funds and ETFs that are being offered, you can do so. So the website is India Passive Funds, where you just skip to the main website. There is a screener that is here. So you can decide what are the different kind of filters you want to have. Just for the sake of an example, I'm going to be selecting a BSE enhanced value, and I'll just apply the filters. You will be able to see what are the different funds and what are the fund types that are being offered. And you'll also see the values over here. So you'll be able to get some more in-depth information regarding all of these index funds. Now, getting back to the list. So in the last 12 months, we have these 5 factors as the top factors, and we have these particular mutual funds and ETFs that have been listed. What I'd like to bring to your understanding is that when we look at short terms and every month try to see how each and every factor is performing, it is just to get an idea of how the market, what the broader market looks like, and how do the different factors react to the broader market. So this is just for your understanding and in the short term to see how the market is performing and how the factors are performing. But if you actually want to have a robust piece of data where you can have information about rolling returns, where you can have information about what are the different kinds of drawdowns that one factor can give you, etc. What will be a good way to do that is to look at data from a large period of time. So we have also done that for you, and this particular analysis is a very detailed analysis of data from August 2005 onwards. So we're almost looking at approximately 20-year-old data where we have calculated the CAGRs, we have calculated drawdowns, volatilities, etc. So what we have done is for the long-term calculation, we have looked at the closing values for each and every day on all of the days that have been traded on the market from August 1st of 2025, and we have then calculated NAVs. We have calculated 3 years returns. We have calculated what kind of overperformance was seen, how many days, what is the percentage, what is the alpha that has been generated, what is the top 25% of this alpha. We have seen drawdowns. We have also calculated volatilities. So any indicator that you might want to see, you name it, it is there in the sheet. So additionally, we have also calculated the 1 year, 3 year, 5 year and 7 year returns. We have also seen what is the top 25 percentile, what is the median return for this sort of time periods. We have also seen drawdowns and volatilities. So I have put all of this data, including the November's data, in the summary sheet over here. And the benchmark we are comparing it to is Nifty 50. Now, in the long-term period, so what we have done is we have given a scorecard for all of these strategy indices, giving different weightages to different aspects of indicators that are listed here. So based on the scores, there is also a final ranking to calculate the top 5. And if you look at this list, you will see that the top first high performing one is the Nifty 500 Multi-Cap Momentum Quality 50 Index Strategy. So this is the latest edition strategy, and this has a rank 1. Now for the second one, we again have a multi-factor one. It is the Nifty Mid Small Cap 400 Momentum Quality 100. So we also have a multi-factor indices holding the rank 2. Now rank 3 is being interestingly held by Nifty 50 Value 20, but I'm not considering this as rank 3 over here. And the reason being that the data that is available for this particular index is from 2009. So we are missing 3 years of crucial data, including the one where market witnessed huge changes in the year of 2008. So for the sake of this video, I will just pause this rank and take the rank 4 as rank 3. So for the third rank, we have Nifty 200 Momentum 30. In fact, Nifty 200 Momentum 30 held rank 5 in the last month, but now it is holding rank 4. Again, you may say that the CAGR since inception is lower than the other two. Even the 3-year CAGR is lower. But if you see that there are different weightages for outperformance, there are different weightages for bottom 25%, drawdowns and volatilities. So based on all of this, Nifty 200 Momentum 30 is holding a rank of 4, which is followed by Nifty 500 Momentum 50 and rank 5 for Nifty Mid Cap 150 Momentum 50. So if you see the top 5 ranks in the long term, that is over a period of approximately 20 years, all of them are momentum, of which the top 2 are multi-factors, which is momentum and quality. However, this sort of score and final rank is based on our preferences and how we would do it. But if you're an individual investor who's more interested in giving weightages to, let's say, drawdowns, if you're not someone who's okay withstanding a huge amount of drawdown, then you can look at different indices as well. So you can give your weightage to drawdowns and then volatility and see, which one ranks first and second. Once you've chosen your own index based on the risk reward ratios, then you can also go to this particular website and see which mutual funds and ETFs exist. You can also look at the median rolling returns of 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, 7 year. So you have a particular time period which you're focusing on. So all of this data will help you take your own decisions based on your risk appetite. Top 5, therefore, for in the long term performing factors are Nifty 500 multi-cap momentum quality 50, Nifty mid small cap 400 momentum quality 100, Nifty 200 momentum 30, Nifty 500 momentum 50, Nifty mid cap 150 momentum 50. So again, over here I have listed all of the mutual funds and ETFs from the taken from the website of India Passive Funds. In fact, we also have a mutual fund and ETF that are being offered in the Nifty 500 multi-cap momentum quality, the rank 1 factor. Again, they're very new, and I think they're probably less than a month old. So we don't have tracking error data essentially for this, but you can go ahead and look at the tracking error data for whichever funds and ETFs that are available over here. So that has been this month's Factor This. Hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you back with another video very soon. Thank you for joining.